Hello, youth group. Judah here. So my name is Judah, and I'm checking in with ministry. That was the topic for today. What is ministry? That's what we were supposed to do videos on. That's what we were supposed to be thinking about. And that is what I'm doing the video on. I'm doing it vloggity style because I am lazy. So, what is ministry? Well, it got me thinking, actually. There's a lot of things that go into it. I started thinking about it, and not just ministry in general, although that's important as we get into the specifics, but particularly for us, what does ministry mean for the youth group, for you guys, and for me, and Chanda, and John, and the pastor, and everybody. Okay, so what does it mean, though, in the context of us in this youth group? Well, first, let's talk about what ministry means. Ministry. If you say it over and over again, it means nothing. Ministry. Try it. Ministry. It's weird because the word tree isn't. Okay. But where it originally came from was from the Latin, which it comes from the Latin ministerium. Let me make sure I get this right. Ministerium, which means service or duty. Now, so originally it's just a simple idea of that thing that we are compelled to do, usually from the inside. It is something but the key is the do. Some may think that in order to be a Christian or an Anglican, let's think about a Christian, I just have to go to church, or I just have to believe in Jesus. Or they might even get deeper and say, I just have to have a relationship with Jesus. And all these things are partly true. Well, mostly the relationship and believing in Jesus is important to Christianity. However, ministry is the thing that you can't just be a minister by going somewhere or being something. You have to do things. Ministry has to do with doing things. In fact, the technical definition, it has to do with particular activities of a religious group. So it is the work of Christians for Christian ministry. Now, ministry has grown to mean other things, from bigger, the ministry of this and the ministry of that, youth ministry versus this and that. I mean, to the ministry of magic, which is more of a political institution. Fake, of course, but ministry has been used for bigger political things, whereas what we're talking about is just simply, what can we do as Christians? That's what ministry is. What do we do as Christians? And more specifically, not like, well, we eat together, yay! We play together, oh, so fun. No. It has to do with, what do we do in the work of Jesus Christ? So what are you doing as somebody who's coming to this church? And maybe you don't come to this church, but what is your ministry? We all have ministries. I have lots of ministries. Not just Christian too. I have a ministry to people that need to learn how to do website type stuff and video type stuff. I have a ministry that I feel like a type of evangelist for certain things, comic booky things and cartoony things. These are lame ministries. I wish I hadn't said it out loud. But there are lots of little ministries that we have in our life, and that's what I'm talking about, are the constant activities where we go above and beyond because of certain beliefs we have, because of certain passions that we have. What are you passionate about, and what are you doing about it? It could be summed up into that. But the ministry that we're called into is deeper than Star Wars or Phineas and Ferb, because it comes out of a relationship, like we talked about before, a relationship with Jesus Christ, and believing and being in relationship with Jesus Christ is something that motivates us, or should motivate us, to act. And what is it? Not to act as in like an actor in Hollywood, but act as in take action to help people come into this relationship, into the knowledge of Jesus Christ, into the gospel that he has saved us. Gets me emotional. That's good. That is what spurs us on to ministry. Because if we're just doing ministry out of duty, duty sounds even bad. He said duty. But we are not to do this out of duty or out of because we've been assigned it. Well, we have been assigned it. We've been told to do it. It's a mandate from Jesus. In Matthew 28:16 through 20, Jesus, so it says, then the 11 disciples went to Galilee, to the mount where Jesus had told them to go. And when they saw him, they worshipped him, but some doubted. Then Jesus came to them and said, all authority has been given to me on heaven and earth. Therefore, go and make disciples of nations, of all nations, baptizing them in the name of the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit, teaching them to obey everything I have commanded to you. And surely I am with you always, and to the very end of the age. And then earlier in chapter 5, in chapter 5, 13 and 14 mainly, but the whole through to 20 is just a broader example of where it is in history. But he says, you are salt and light of the earth. If salt loses its saltiness, how can it be made salty again? No, it's no longer good for anything except it's thrown away and trampled. It's like sand. But salt back then was like, oh, have you ever had food without salt? Disgusting. I shouldn't say that. You are the light of the world. A town built on a hill cannot be hidden. Neither do people light a lamp and put it under a bowl. Instead, they put it on its stand, and it gives light to everyone in the house. In the same way, let your light shine before others, that they may see your good deeds, and glorify your Father in heaven. So I don't want to diminish our faith. I don't want to diminish just being a Christian. I don't even diminish if you're just thinking about what is a Christian. I just want to say that there is something in me, and I think in a lot of you, that we're excited about what Christ has done for us and what Christ is doing. And the question is, what do we do about it? What are these deeds so that we may be seen? Well, that's what I want you guys to discuss. And I just wish there was somebody to show us an example of like a light being, I don't know, maybe. But go discuss.